Hey, what's going on YouTube? In today's video, I want to highlight Stephen A. Smith calling out Dez Bryant. I did a video yesterday highlighting Kwame Brown and Dez Bryant response to everything that's going on with Malika Andrews and this Josh Giddey situation and how they failed to cover that situation properly. So Stephen A. Smith, he went on his podcast platform and he had called out Dez Bryant for responding to Malika Andrews. Stephen A. Smith stood up for Malika Andrews, and this is what he had to say about Dez Bryant calling out Malika Andrews on Twitter. Make sure I give this video a thumbs up. Let's push it out to the algorithm. Let's try to get 1,000+ likes on this video. Y'all been crushing it on the Malika Andrews videos, man. Without y'all, these videos wouldn't be doing the numbers that they are doing. So I just want to say I appreciate y'all. Salute to y'all. So with that being said, let's get started in today's video.
Been getting some major heat, in particular for former NFL wide receiver Dez Bryant for ignoring the situation involving or surrounding NBA player Josh Giddey of the Oklahoma City Thunder and the accusations of him having an inappropriate relationship with an underage girl. First things first, before I get even any further, let me tell you what Dez Bryant had to say. Let me read that quote to you right now. Dez Bryant tweets, Malika Andrews, you went out of your way to crucify Brandon Miller, the #2 overall pick of the Charlotte Hornets on draft day, over something he didn't even do, wrote Bryant. Why haven't you said nothing about Josh Giddey? I advise you not to make this a black or white thing. Your parents really raised you wrong, and just because you went to a private school don't make you better. You appeal, and I know you're kind. You're just a puppet. I don't know how a former or current NBA player could sit there across from you and look at you with some kind of respect. Let me say this. Dez Bryant, I miss him. I miss Dez Bryant because I loved watching him as a wide receiver for the Dallas Cowboys for those 8 years he was there before he suffered that injury and came back and tried to resume his career in Baltimore, and that didn't work out. I respect you, my brother, but that was a bit extreme. You see, without trying to get too involved in it, I feel compelled to get involved because I think that a lot of people are missing the issue involving Josh Giddey to begin with. Josh Giddey is being investigated for allegedly messing with an underage girl. We don't know the facts. And because we don't know the facts, and we represent a network, we have to make sure I's are dotted and T's are crossed before we provide commentary to that. The investigation is ongoing by the NBA. The Oklahoma City Thunder refuses to comment on it. Josh Giddey refuses to comment on it. And as a result, all we can keep doing is reminding everybody the brother being investigated. He's from Australia. He's being investigated for messing with an underage girl. That's problematic. And the NBA is investigating because next thing you know, they may take some heat because people may be asking them, what are you going to do about it? If this was the National Football League, chances are he would be put on a commissioner's exempt list where he wouldn't be allowed to play until the investigation was complete. Malika Andrews is a colleague of mine. There's no question about that. We got into our little tussle on the air after the Ime Udoka situation, or as that was brewing. She came at me in a certain way. I checked the situation the way I felt it needed to be checked. We had a conversation. Later, she apologized. I accepted her apology because I'm a human being and I make mistakes too. How in God's name does Malika Andrews not ask that question on draft night? She had to. I'm telling you, me or any other reporter that was in that situation has an obligation to ask a team, an NBA official, or somebody about that question. There is no wiggle room around it. If she hadn't asked that question, the bosses would have been wondering why she had that job. If I was sitting in her chair and I didn't ask that question, since after all he was the #2 overall pick and he was getting drafted and all of this residue was just months removed, I would have been asked, why do I have my job? That goes for any journalist. So we have to take that into consideration.
Okay, so that's Stephen A. Smith calling out Dez Bryant, and I just want to give my opinion real quick. I honestly think Stephen A. Smith should stop sticking up for Malika Andrews. He did it on Paul George's podcast. Remember, Stephen A. Smith pretty much just said that Malika Andrews is a puppet for ESPN because he said that she has no choice but to ask these questions and do the things that she does. If not, ESPN will get rid of her. And then he pretty much pumped himself up in a higher regard, saying that he's different because he has the obligation not to do those things. So I'm pretty sure a lot of you remember that if you watch my YouTube channel or if you just watch the podcast, P Podcast with Stephen A. Smith. That's what he said about Malika Andrews. So I want to highlight what Dez Bryant had to say in response to Stephen A. Smith calling him out on Twitter, man. So let's get into these tweets, and then I'll be right back with a little bit more commentary. Be sure to hit that like button for me if you haven't already. That helps this YouTube channel continue to grow. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, stay up to date with all of my current YouTube videos. Peace. He said, as Stephen A. Smith, I would love to come on your show and provide more context in what I'm saying because I think a lot of you seem to miss my point. I don't mind talking about nothing I've ever been through to validate my point, even more on the unfair treatment against certain athletes in the media world. By the way, I chose not to go back to Baltimore. I got the text messages to prove it. I'm a man of integrity. I'm a man of respect. Me controlling my own narrative. Showing the world who I am means more than anything to me. I ain't talking about this situation no more unless Stephen A. Smith and Malika Andrews want to talk on air. But I do want to apologize for coming so aggressive at Malika Andrews. But I do wonder if she realizes how certain things look. Sports and media is a big deal to the culture. I battled my entire sports career pleading to the world. We are more than the game we play. We just need better help. Millions of dollars to do a job is not worth more than a human's mental, especially if you got a family who loves you. I've experienced unfairness and saw white athletes get a slap on the wrist for doing shit I know that will get you kicked off a team in a heartbeat. I really hate to make it seem like a black and white thing, but the unfairness is real. I know for me, I got tired of busting my ass, going the extra mile just to still get disrespected. I'm just fed up looking at the cycle. I don't even like jumping on shows or podcasts, but I will on this topic. The elephant been in the room, but folks scared to speak on it. Dez Bryant continued to say, I ain't looking for brownie points. I ain't looking to make somebody look bad. The real ones know how I move. I am the voice of the people who are afraid to speak. I care to talk about perspective. Okay, that's Dez Bryant responding back to Stephen A. Smith. And he's pretty much just saying that he has information to prove what he's talking about. And I'm pretty sure you guys can just do your own research. You know, we can see how they cover a white athlete allegations and a black athlete allegations. I could make video after video after video exposing and revealing that. I did with the Kevin Porter Jr. situation. I've seen a lot of other people covering that. Salute, because that's the point of this stuff, man. We got to get the message out and expose these hypocrites because they act like this shit just don't exist. And Stephen A. Smith, for him to pump his chest out and defend Malika Andrews, it's like, yo, why do you keep trying to defend her when Malika Andrews haven't used her platforms to defend you? So y'all get in the comment section down below. I would love to hear your thoughts about today's shorts video. Like, share, comment, and subscribe for more shorts videos.